Welcome back to Stamps Old World UK. Today, we are exploring one of the most impressive and iconic high-value stamps ever issued by the postal authorities of the Victorian era, the famous 10 shillings green stamp featuring the portrait of Queen Victoria. This remarkable stamp is far more than a simple piece of paper used for postage. It represents the power, wealth, trade, and communication network of the mighty United Kingdom during the 19th century. For collectors around the world, this stamp stands as one of the great classics of British philately and continues to attract attention from investors, historians, and collectors who admire both beauty and rarity. The 10 shillings green stamp was issued during the reign of Queen Victoria at a time when 10 shillings represented a considerable amount of money. This was not a stamp designed for ordinary letters sent by everyday people. Instead, it was intended for heavy parcels, valuable documents, commercial shipments, and important overseas correspondence that required significant postage fees. High-value stamps such as this were used by banks, trading companies, government departments, and major businesses operating across the expanding British Empire. One of the first things collectors notice is the beautiful design of this stamp. The central portrait of Queen Victoria displays elegance, dignity, and authority. Surrounding the portrait is an elaborate ornamental frame filled with decorative patterns and lettering that reflect the artistic style of the Victorian period. The rich green color gives the stamp a prestigious appearance that immediately distinguishes it from lower denomination issues of the same era. The corner letters identify the position of the stamp within the printing sheet, an important detail for specialists, collectors studying plate varieties and production methods. The story behind this stamp is closely linked with the extraordinary growth of global communication during the 19th century. Railways, steamships, and international trade routes were transforming the world, and the postal system became the backbone of business and administration. Every major financial transaction, legal agreement, and commercial contract depended on reliable postal services. Stamps like this 10 shillings issue played a crucial role in keeping the machinery of empire and commerce moving efficiently across continents. Collectors often ask why high-value Victorian stamps are so desirable today. The answer lies in a combination of rarity, survival rates, condition, and historical significance. Unlike low-value stamps that were printed in huge quantities and saved by many collectors, high-value stamps were mainly used in commercial settings. Many were heavily canceled, damaged during postal handling, or simply discarded after use. As a result, examples that survive in fine condition are much harder to find and command strong prices in the collector market. Condition is one of the most important factors affecting value. Collectors carefully examine the quality of the perforations, the freshness of the color, the centering of the design, the presence or absence of thinning, tears, creases, or repairs, and the overall visual appeal of the stamp. A stamp with vibrant color, sharp impressions, and perfect perforations can be worth many times more than an example with faults or damage. The cancellation also plays an important role in determining market value. Some collectors prefer lightly canceled examples that leave the portrait clearly visible, while others seek mint examples that have never been used through the post. Certain rare postmarks or unusual usages can add significant value and historical interest. Postal historians often pay premium prices for stamps that can be linked to important routes, destinations, or historical events. Now let us discuss the market value of this magnificent stamp in today's market. Prices can vary enormously depending on condition and authenticity. A heavily used example with faults or defects may sell for around $150 to $300. A fine used example with attractive appearance and good centering can often achieve between $500 and $200. Very fine examples with excellent presentation may reach prices of $2,500 to $3,000 or even higher at specialist auctions. Mint examples with original gum are exceptionally desirable and can command several $1,000 depending on rarity and certification. Examples: with expert certificates from recognized philatelic authorities often achieve stronger prices because buyers have confidence in authenticity. The market for classic British stamps remains active and international, with collectors from Europe, Asia, North America, and Australia competing for the finest examples. Auction houses regularly feature important Victorian high values as centerpiece items in prestigious sales. Investment collectors view stamps like this as historical assets rather than simple collectibles. Over the decades, rare British classics have demonstrated strong demand due to limited supply and worldwide recognition. While no investment is guaranteed to rise in value, many philatelists appreciate the stability offered by iconic stamps with established collector demand and rich historical importance. Another fascinating aspect of this stamp is the craftsmanship involved in its production. Victorian engravers and printers worked with extraordinary skill to create intricate lines and patterns that remain impressive even under magnification. Every detail of the Queen's portrait, every decorative flourish, and every letter was carefully engraved to ensure security against forgery while maintaining visual elegance. This level of artistry is one reason why collectors often describe classic Victorian stamps as miniature works of art. For beginners entering the world of stamp collecting, the 10 shillings green issue represents a dream acquisition and an important milestone in any collection of British stamps. Even collectors who cannot yet afford an example enjoy studying its history, production methods, and postal usage. Owning one connects the collector directly with the age of steamships, railways, empire, and global trade. The enduring popularity of this stamp proves that great philatelic treasures never lose their appeal. More than a century after it was first issued, collectors continue searching for fine examples. Researchers continue uncovering new information, and auction rooms continue witnessing competitive bidding whenever exceptional specimens appear on the market. Next up, the famous 2-pence purple stamp featuring the portrait of King Edward VII. This stamp may appear small and simple at first glance, but behind its elegant design lies a fascinating story of royal history, postal development, and collector demand that continues more than 100 years after it was first issued. The accession of King Edward VII marked the beginning of a new chapter in British history following the long and remarkable reign of Queen Victoria. After decades of Victorian stamps dominating postal services throughout the British Empire, collectors and postal customers witnessed the arrival of a completely new royal portrait. The release of the Edward VII stamps represented not only a change of monarch, but also the beginning of a new era in British Philately. The 2-pence purple issue quickly became one of the most recognizable values of the Edward VII series. The stamp features an elegant profile portrait of King Edward VII facing left, surrounded by an ornate frame with detailed scrollwork and decorative elements that showcase the high standards of British stamp engraving during the early 20th century. The rich purple shade immediately attracts attention and remains one of the reasons collectors admire this issue today. The words "Postage and Revenue" printed on the stamp reveal an important aspect of British postal history. These stamps could be used not only for ordinary mail, but also for fiscal purposes such as paying taxes, fees, and government charges. This dual function made the stamp highly practical and ensured it was widely used across many areas of public and commercial life throughout the United Kingdom and the wider British Empire. During the Edwardian period, the world was changing rapidly. International trade was expanding. Ocean liners connected continents, railways carried mail at unprecedented speeds, and businesses depended heavily on reliable communication systems. The Postal Service became one of the most important institutions in society, and stamps such as this 2-pence value played a central role in keeping the nation connected. The production quality of Edward VII stamps remains highly respected among philatelists. The fine engraving lines visible in the king's portrait demonstrate remarkable craftsmanship by the printers of the era. Even under magnification, collectors can appreciate the incredible detail in the hair, facial features, crown, and ornamental borders. These stamps were designed not only to be functional, but also to represent the prestige and authority of the British monarchy. One of the most interesting aspects for collectors is the variety found within the Edward VII series. Differences in shades, watermarks, perforations, papers, and printing methods create exciting opportunities for specialists to study and classify individual stamps. Some varieties are common and affordable, while others are rare and highly sought after by advanced collectors around the world. Now, let us discuss the market value of this classic stamp in today's collector market. The value depends heavily on condition, rarity, watermark type, perforation variety, and whether the stamp is mint or used. A common used example in average condition may sell for between $2 and $10 US. A fine used example with attractive cancellation and good centering can reach values of $15 to $40 US. Mint examples with original gum often range from $50 to $150 US, depending on quality and demand. Certain watermark varieties and rare printings can command significantly higher prices. Specialist examples with unusual shades, plate flaws, or scarce perforation combinations may sell for several $100s at auction. Exceptional specimens certified by expert philatelic organizations can attract serious attention from collectors specializing in the Edward VII period. Condition remains the single most important factor affecting market value. Collectors carefully examine the freshness of the color, the sharpness of the perforations, the centering of the design, and the presence of any faults such as tears, thinning, creases, stains, or repairs. A stamp with bright original color and excellent margins will always attract stronger interest than one with visible defects. The cancellation can also influence price significantly. Light and attractive postmarks that do not obscure the king's portrait are generally preferred by collectors. Some postmarks from smaller towns, overseas destinations, military offices, or unusual locations can add both value and historical significance to a stamp that might otherwise be considered common. Collectors often ask whether Edward VII stamps are a good investment. While most ordinary examples remain affordable and accessible to beginners, the finest quality examples and scarce varieties continue to experience steady demand in international auctions. The limited duration of King Edward VII's reign means that his stamp issues were produced for a relatively short period compared with those of Queen Victoria or King George V, adding further interest for collectors building complete royal collections. The popularity of Edward VII stamps extends far beyond the United Kingdom. Collectors in Europe, North America, Asia, Australia, and many former territories of the British Empire actively seek these issues for their collections. The combination of historical importance, beautiful design, and manageable prices makes them an attractive choice for both beginners and experienced philatelists. For new collectors entering the hobby, the 2p purple Edward VII stamp offers an excellent introduction to classic British philately. It is affordable, historically important, visually attractive, and widely available enough to encourage study and specialization. Many advanced collectors began their journey with stamps exactly like this one before moving on to more complex and valuable issues. Every stamp tells a story, and this 2p purple issue tells the story of an empire at the height of its influence. A new king ascending the throne, and a postal system that connected people across oceans and continents. It is a small piece of paper that witnessed an extraordinary period of history and survived to become a treasured collectible for future generations. Next up, the magnificent Queen Victoria 10 shillings pale ultramarine stamp, a masterpiece of Victorian design and one of the most respected high-value stamps ever produced by the British postal system. For collectors around the world, this stamp is more than just a postal issue. It is a symbol of the industrial power, commercial success, and worldwide influence of Britain during the height of the Victorian era. When this extraordinary stamp was introduced, 10 shillings represented a substantial amount of money. At a time when many ordinary workers earned only a few pounds per week, a postage fee of 10 shillings was reserved for very important and valuable mail. This stamp was primarily used for heavy parcels, legal documents, insurance papers, financial transactions, international shipments, and official government correspondence. It was a working stamp for the engines of commerce that connected Britain with every corner of the globe. The design itself is one of the most elegant creations in the history of stamp printing. At the center is the famous profile portrait of Queen Victoria, one of the most recognized royal images ever used on a postage stamp. The portrait projects dignity, stability, and authority, qualities that perfectly reflected how Britain wished to present itself to the world during the 19th century. Surrounding the Queen is a beautifully balanced, geometric frame featuring detailed ornaments, decorative borders, and clear lettering that combines simplicity with sophistication. The pale ultramarine color chosen for this issue gives the stamp an appearance unlike any other British high value of its time. Under natural light, the stamp displays a soft and refined blue shade that immediately catches the eye of collectors. The delicate color combined with the elegant Victorian engraving creates a stamp that many experts consider one of the most beautiful classic issues ever produced by Britain. One of the fascinating details for specialist collectors is the presence of corner letters. In this example, the letters identify the position of the stamp within the original printing sheet. These corner letters have long been used by philatelists to study printing arrangements, plate positions, and production techniques used by the printers of the era. Such details may seem small, but they provide valuable information that helps researchers understand how these stamps were manufactured more than 100 years ago. The production of this stamp required extraordinary craftsmanship. Victorian engravers worked with precision tools to create thousands of tiny lines that formed the Queen's portrait and the decorative frame. Every curve, shadow, and ornament was carefully engraved by hand before being transferred to printing plates capable of producing millions of impressions. Even today, modern printing technology struggles to reproduce the same level of fine detail and artistic beauty achieved by 19th century engravers. During the Victorian period, the British Empire covered vast territories across Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, Australia, and the Pacific. International communication was essential for government administration, military operations, trade agreements, and financial markets. Stamps such as the 10 shillings value were the silent workers behind this global network, helping information travel between continents at a speed that was revolutionary for the time. Collectors often ask why high-value Victorian stamps have become some of the most valuable items in British philately. The answer lies in their original purpose. Because these stamps paid expensive postal rates, relatively few were printed compared with lower values. Most were used on commercial documents and parcels that were eventually destroyed after serving their purpose. As a result, surviving examples in excellent condition are significantly scarcer than ordinary Victorian stamps. Now let us discuss the market value of this famous stamp in today's collector market. Prices vary enormously depending on condition, cancellation, centering, perforations, and authenticity. A heavily used example with faults such as tears, creases, thinning, or damaged perforations may sell for around $200 to $500. A sound-used example with acceptable appearance often reaches values between $700 and $2,500. Fine examples with attractive cancellations and strong color regularly achieve between $2,000 and $4,000 at specialist auctions. Exceptional used examples with superb centering and light postmarks can command prices between $5,000 and $8,000. Mint examples without faults are among the treasures of British Philately and may sell for $10,000 to $25,000, depending on condition and certification. Particularly rare shades, plate varieties, or exhibition quality examples can achieve even higher prices in major international auctions. Expert certificates have become increasingly important in the market for valuable Victorian stamps. Certificates issued by recognized philatelic organizations provide buyers with confidence regarding authenticity and condition. Because high-value stamps attract forgery and alteration attempts, certified examples usually command stronger prices and sell more quickly than uncertified material. Another important factor affecting market value is centering. Collectors prefer stamps with balanced margins and evenly spaced perforations surrounding the design. Even small differences in centering can have a significant impact on price, especially for premium quality examples intended for exhibition collections. The cancellation itself can also influence desirability. Some collectors seek clear and lightly struck postmarks that preserve the beauty of the design, while others look for rare postal markings from unusual locations or important historical periods. Postal historians may pay substantial premiums for examples tied to significant events or routes within the British Empire. The market for classic British stamps remains one of the strongest and most international sectors of philately. Collectors from the United Kingdom, Europe, North America, China, India, Australia, and many other countries actively compete for outstanding Victorian high values. This worldwide demand helps maintain interest and stability in the market for premium examples. For many collectors, owning a Queen Victoria 10 shillings stamp represents the achievement of a lifelong collecting goal. It is a centerpiece item that immediately attracts attention in any album or exhibition frame. Few stamps combine artistic beauty, historical importance, and financial value as successfully as this Victorian masterpiece. This remarkable stamp reminds us that postage stamps are more than pieces of paper. They are witnesses to history. They traveled through busy ports, crossed oceans aboard steamships, moved through railway sorting offices, and carried messages that shaped businesses, governments, and families across generations. Thank you for joining Stamps Old World UK for another journey through the golden age of British philately. If you enjoy discovering rare stamps, market values, hidden varieties, and the incredible stories behind the world's greatest postal treasures, make sure to follow Stamps Old World UK for more fascinating episodes from the history of stamp collecting. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and remember that every stamp carries with it a story that has traveled across time to reach the present day.